Hello, and welcome to my English learning podcast, where you get the opportunity to practice your English listening skills, pick up some new vocabulary, and delve into all sorts of topics such as communication skills, self-development, mental health, learning techniques, and lots more. I'm Jo, and if you speak English as a second plus language, I'm here to help you feel more confident, more expressive, and more like you when you speak English. And today we're going to talk about something that I think is a real game changer, a biggie: mindset. Whether you're learning English, whether you're going through a transition, or maybe you feel a bit stuck, or perhaps all three, this episode explores the idea that your mindset matters more than talent. And that's not just me saying it, it's based on research. I'll share some stories, a bit of science, some English expressions you can actually use, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll feel a little bit more empowered, optimistic, and hopeful about what you can achieve. As usual, there's a free PDF to download on my website, which features a full transcript of today's episode, plus a bit of bonus material, further reading, podcast recommendations, and a breakdown of some of the language that you can use to talk about mindset in English. I've also included some more reflection prompts to encourage you to articulate your thoughts about mindset. The link for all this is in the description below. As you can see, we've got a lot to get through, so let's make a start. In today's podcast, we're going to specifically look at a growth mindset. You've probably heard the phrase growth mindset before. It comes up a lot in self-development books and in the coaching sphere. But what does it actually mean? The term comes originally from Dr. Carol Dweck from Stanford University. She studied how people respond to challenges. And she discovered that the way we think about our abilities has a huge impact on what we actually achieve. According to her, most of us fall into one of two mindset categories. Firstly, a fixed mindset. With a fixed mindset, you believe that your abilities are set. You're either good at languages or you're not. You either have a talent for public speaking or you don't. With a growth mindset, however, you believe that you can develop your skills and your abilities with time, effort, and the right strategies. You might not be fluent yet, but you believe that you can get there. And the beautiful thing is, you can learn to develop a growth mindset. It's not something that you're born with. So what do these two mindsets sound like in real life? I always mess up grammar. Or I'm terrible at small talk in English. This is a fixed mindset. With a growth mindset, you might say, I'm still working on my grammar, but I can already see progress. I'm not great at small talk, but I'm practicing whenever I can to try and get better. Somebody else might say, I don't have a knack for languages. A knack means this natural ability for something. Obviously, this is a fixed mindset. With a growth mindset, instead, you might say, this doesn't come easily, but I can improve with practice. And this is so important for language learners. Because let's face it, learning a second language can be very frustrating. You forget words, you feel embarrassed, you compare yourself to other people who seem more fluent. But if you can change your mindset from I'm bad at this to I'm still learning, it can change everything. I read a great article just recently. In fact, it inspired me to make this episode. I'll put a link in the description, and it's from The Conversation, and it's called Learning a New Language. Your mindset matters more than having a knack. And it really confirms what I've seen in students and what I've felt in my own life. The researchers explain that people often think that language learning success is all about talent. You either have it or you don't. But what actually matters far more is your mindset, your belief in your own ability to improve. Students who believe their skills can grow tend to practice more, take risks in conversations, and recover better from mistakes. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because that's what successful language learners do. Not perfectly, but consistently. Bit by bit, step by step. So if you've ever said to yourself, I'm just not a language person, maybe it's time to challenge that belief. Let me tell you something personal. When I first started creating English learning content online, I felt completely out of my depth. I kept thinking, who am I? What if I get it wrong? What if no one watches or listens? I'm too old to do this. And that's a fixed mindset right there. But I started reminding myself that this is something new. I'm learning. I won't get everything right. And that's okay. I give myself permission to mess up sometimes, but I also give myself permission to grow. And every time I posted something, even if I cringed afterwards, I told myself, you're doing it. You're gradually getting better by doing it. And now I feel quite confident posting content on Instagram. So I set myself the new challenge of this YouTube channel. And believe me, I feel very uncomfortable doing it sometimes. But I believe I can get better. And of course, it's the same with speaking English. You can read grammar books forever, but confidence comes from doing. And yes, making a few mistakes along the way. Another challenge I've set myself this year is to start learning Mandarin. I'm at the very beginning and I'm not expecting massive progress quickly, but I'm enjoying the process. I told myself that as a 53-year-old woman, I was over the hill, too old to learn a language like Mandarin, but I'm proving myself wrong. It's making me feel a bit younger too. So let's look at some English language for talking about personal growth. Number one, I love. It's I'm a work in progress. This is a lovely expression and it means I'm still developing, I'm still growing. And that's okay. I think I'll always be a work in progress. And I like it that way. Number two is something that I've talked about before, but it's I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. This is a great one for you when you start doing something new or scary, like starting an English conversation class or setting up a new YouTube channel. Third expression is I don't know how to yet. The little word yet changes everything. When you say that you don't know how to do something yet, it means that you don't know how to do it at the moment, but you're going to have a good go at learning how to do it. You'll get there eventually. Expression number 5, you've heard this lots of times before from me if you're a student of mine or if you've watched my videos. Mistakes are part of the process. This one is so important. And when you feel that wave of shame about getting something wrong, I want you to remember this. I've used this with myself. I've used it with my kids. I've used it with my students. Practice saying it to yourself. Mistakes are part of the process. So let's have a look at some verbs that you can use when you're talking or journaling about mindset in English. The first verb I've got for you is to overcome something, to overcome a challenge, for example. Learning to speak in meetings was a real challenge, but I've gradually learned to overcome it. So we can use this when we face something difficult, but we manage to work our way through it. Second verb is to push yourself. I've been pushing myself to speak more, even when I feel nervous. This means that you're deliberately doing something hard in order to grow. The next verb is to stay consistent. This is really important. Staying consistent means showing up even when it feels really difficult and even when it feels like you're not making any progress. It's not about being perfect, it's about staying consistent. The next verb is to bounce back. I made a mistake in the interview, but I bounced back and I kept going. This means that you quickly recover after a setback. And then finally, to believe in yourself. I think this is something that we all struggle with at times. Now I'm learning to believe in myself a little bit more. This is really common in everyday English, especially in coaching and motivational contexts. We're going to finish up today with some prompts that you can use for speaking or writing to encourage you to reflect on your own mindset. But before I go on to that, I just thought I'd mention that in the description below and in the free PDF, I'm going to include a list of further reading, like I say, podcasts that you might be interested in, and videos that you could have a look at if you're interested in this subject. They include Mindset by Carol Dweck, which was the original where it all started, the article that I mentioned from the conversation, plus a podcast recommendation, 10% Happier, which you might have heard of already. It's quite a big one, and some more recommendations. So make sure you download the PDF if you're interested in more information about this subject. Okay, so let's have a look at these prompts that I've got for you. The first one is, can you describe a moment when you surprised yourself by doing something difficult? I think I've surprised myself by actually finding getting the nerve to actually set up a YouTube channel. 10 years ago, I would have said, oh no, I wouldn't do that, but here I am. The next one is, what does growth mean to you in your life right now? Obviously, there's no right or wrong answers. It's just I'm trying to encourage you to put your thoughts and feelings into words, into English words, whether that be in your journal, writing, or spoken on a voice note, or just talking to yourself. Next up, what beliefs do you have about learning English? Are they helpful or are they holding you back? Do you believe you can improve your English with practice? Why or why not? When you make a mistake, what do you usually say to yourself? And how could you reframe that? And the next prompt is, what's one area of English you're actively working to improve? The next one is, how do you measure your progress? Really difficult one, especially for sort of upper intermediate advanced speakers of English. It's very difficult to measure your progress, but it's really important to celebrate small wins, especially at this point. And the final prompt is, write or say one piece of advice you would give to a friend who feels discouraged about their English, so who feels low and feels like they're not getting anywhere, feels frustrated with their English. What advice would you give them? Now, obviously, you don't have to answer all of these. You don't have to answer any of them. But it's a really good way to practice your English and also consider your mindset at the same time. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you gave me a thumbs up, said hello in the comments, or subscribed to my channel. Keep going, take care, and remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. See you next time.